I remember being unconscious. I remember getting up and I was in the bed without no clothing on, and this gentleman on top of me performing other things that were not something that
you would do.
Yes.
You were molested.
Yes, sexually assaulted. Okay? And what I did is that had a big impact on not only in my life, that messed up my career in the military.
She's the judge who gives rules on the law and life. She's intense with common sense. She's Judge Lynn Toller on Divorce Court, where real couples deal with real life. Love was in the air when Yolanda and Javier met on a popular social networking site and fell hard for each other. They dated for 3 years before saying "I do," but that didn't prevent their 6-year marriage from being one bumpy ride. Yolanda says it may just be time to get off.
He's addicted to cocaine, he's addicted to pornography, he's the reason why our finances are messed up, and I just don't trust him.
She's addicted to rage. Okay, when is she gonna control her rage?
Yeah, hothead?
No.
Yes, she's a hothead.
No.
She will spend the whole entire day talking about the same topic and says it differently.
Yolanda and Javier have split up 3 times during their marriage. So will this be the 4th and final go-round? Or can Judge Lynn help them find a way to walk out of the courtroom hand in hand? Today on Divorce Court.
All rise! Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Yolanda Peniza and Javier Peniza. The two of you have been married for 6 years and you have 2 children together. You have a situation where you want me to resolve a financial matter concerning the tax return, which I will do momentarily. But before we do that, I would like to start out with Mrs. Peniza and ask you to tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here in divorce court today.
Judge, I'm here today because my husband is addicted to everything but making our marriage work. He talks a good game, he talks about making it work, but he doesn't put legs behind it. He doesn't put action behind it.
What's he addicted to?
He's addicted to cocaine, he's addicted to pornography. He's the reason why our finances are messed up, and I just don't trust him whatsoever.
Mr. Peniza, she's talking bad about you over here. I don't want you to admit to any felonies out in the open, but do you have a drug issue?
Yes, I have.
Tell me about his cocaine addiction.
Okay. In 2006, I'm in a counseling session for an EAP, Employee Assistance Program or whatever, and I'm describing certain things that's going on in the home, certain things that's stressing me or stressors and that I had to deal with. The counselor felt uncomfortable, felt I was in a hostile situation. She calls the police. He's waiting in the waiting room. The police come to talk to him, and they search his car. He had a bag of resin in it. And he admitted that it was his, it was old or what have you, but they took him in.
Do you see your use of illegal drugs as a problem, as a concern that you have?
Yes, I had a concern, and I actually took treatment classes for it. I had 2 years of treatment of substance abuse.
So are you in recovery?
I've been in recovery. The initial plan was for us to continue, for her to support me and help me out to do further classes for substance abuse class, but she hasn't yet to meet me halfway.
Do you think that the problem in your relationship is him, or do you agree that you both contribute to the concerns that you have in this marriage?
I believe it's him.
Okay. Now explain that to me. Why do you believe it is solely his fault?
Okay. He pawned his car, for example. He went and got a title loan on his car and used that to support his habit. We got evicted several times.
Hang on.
We got evicted several times because he wanted to support his habit instead of paying the bills that he promised he would pay, including rent, insurance, pay car, anything like that. He didn't want to do that. He put his money, any money that he incurred or he got or anything like that, he wanted to supply it to his habit.
Now, Mr. Peniza, I want you to think about this for a minute. People who are in the throes of an addiction are really hard to live with. They mess up the money. They don't do what they're supposed to do. Do you see that, in fact, she does have some legitimate complaints about how you behaved while you were addicted to drugs?
Absolutely. The only, my character flaws, okay, with my substance abuse, I was in my home. I'm not late night creeping, I'm not out. I was supporting a bad habit that I had accumulated for myself, the demons that I'm wrestling with. the psychiatrist that I will go and see would rather prefer not for me only be there, but for her to be there as well.
And she won't go.
She won't go.
You indicated in your papers that you believe your drug addiction arose from a particular traumatic event. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Before we got together, 2000, I enlisted in the Army. There was a guy that I met, okay? He was married. He showed me a picture of his family, his children, and he had went ahead and came up with an idea, hey, let me go treat you out to go to this club. Let's go out to this club and party up. At the time, I'm single, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna have a few drinks, I'm gonna see some women, I'm just gonna have a good time, okay? It didn't turn out to be like that. I went and had a drink that he had purchased for me. I didn't go with him. I was sitting at the dance floor. He went and got the drink, and I drank it, and he says, are you good? I'm gonna go get you a Long Island iced tea. By the time he came back with that Long Island iced tea, I was already having visual problems, audio problems, and things was not seem normal.
So you think he put something in that drink?
Yes, that he had drugged up my drink. Because shortly after that, I told him, look, I'm not feeling well, I wanna go home. Can you take me home? Nah, man, I'm gonna take good care of you. I'm gonna take good care of you. Okay, I'm gonna bring you to my place. And that's all I kept hearing. What I remember is that I got in his vehicle, I was vomiting. By the time I got in his home, I asked him to help me out to use the restroom. After that, I remember being unconscious. I remember getting up and I was in the bed without no clothing on, and this gentleman on top of me performing other things that were not something that
you would do.
Yes.
You were molested.
Yes, sexually assaulted. Okay? And what I did is that had a big impact on not only my life, that messed up my career in the military.
Ms. Peniza, were you aware of this particular trauma your husband had suffered?
I didn't know all the details when we first met, when we were dating. That happened before we met.
Does that help you understand a little bit? I mean, it doesn't make being a drug addict okay, but it does explain at least the genesis of the problem.
I understand, okay? I relate to it, but it's been 6 months since I slept in a bed, and since last night. And I understand what he's been through, but we've been together. It's been 9 years total since we've been together. And we don't have a car. He pawned his car. We have all these issues. He sits there and he can say, oh yes, she won't go with the counselor. She won't go to the counselor with me. I was working. I was the only one working, and we didn't have enough money to pay for a babysitter. And he said he couldn't bring the baby. So that's why I didn't go. It's not that I wouldn't support him.
When divorce court continues, things get heated in the courtroom.
It turns out he fell asleep after watching porn, and he had some fries or something on the stove, and it set the whole kitchen on fire.
Did you light the house on fire after watching porn? Divorce isn't easy. Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce court is back with the case of Yolanda Peniza, who says her husband ruined their marriage with his drug use. But does Yolanda have her faults too?
She calls me crackhead. She calls me other names that I'm not gonna mention, okay? Obscene names and stuff. All the words that she says, it hurts me.
I understand, though, that you had a fair number of economic problems as a result of his drug use, pawning the car, you talked about that. There was something about a tax return, and the house catching on fire. Tell me about those incidents.
Well, the house catching on fire is a result of his porn addiction. I called him like 11 o'clock in the morning. I was at work, and it turns out he fell asleep after watching porn, and he had some fries or something on the stove, and it set the whole kitchen on fire.
Did you light the house on fire after watching porn?
Yeah, by the time it all happened, I was naked and I had to run outside and knock on somebody else's door to get some support to call the fireplace. That was an embarrassing moment.
Yeah, it must have been.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
He watches porn. He watches it on his phone, like for 10 hours a day. He would sit
Are you
even in front of
overboard
me.
with the porn there, Mr. Peniza?
I would see him at 7 p.m. for 20 minutes, and then he goes back.
Mr. Peniza, are you working the porn a little hard?
Man, the underlying problem is really not about pornography, okay? The thing is, yeah, I'm still a man, okay? I have my desires only for Yolanda. I want nothing but Yolanda, okay? But Yolanda keeps telling me that I'm addicted to just about everything. Whether if I'm approaching her and trying to woo her, I'm womanizing her.
He says he only wants me, and he says he don't want any other woman. But this is the same man that calls me ugly, that calls me names, calls me fatty, fat, after I had a baby.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, you know what,
Why?
but she's not telling you one thing too. It's what she says to me. It's what she calls me. She calls me crackhead. She calls me other names that I'm not going to mention, okay, obscene names and stuff, all right? And that's when it gets to the point where I'm like, I stoop low to her level, to hurt her feelings, because all the words that she says, it hurts me.
Okay, all right. So it's
Tell me about the IRS
All right.
tax return.
we filed taxes. Particular place you can have your return put on a debit card. They gave me a card in the store, didn't have my name on it. They gave me a personalized card.
Right.
The personalized card came in the mail. This man over here didn't tell me that it came in the mail, and he proceeds for 5 days and blows $2,000 on his habit. And the only reason why I find out is because I'm like, well, why is my card not coming in the mail? Why he doesn't tell
And
me
he had
anything.
already had it. He intercepted it. He used it.
He activated
Mr.
it in
Peniza,
my
is that
name.
accurate?
That's very accurate, but you know what? She doesn't even mention the fact that when I get my funds in my card, she holds onto my card, and if she happens to leave me, if there's times that we get into an argument and she wants to go leave, she'll leave about 2 weeks or about a month. She has my money. She's addicted to rage. Okay, when is she gonna control her rage?
Yeah, hothead.
No.
Yes,
I
she's a
would not-
hothead.
No.
She will spend the whole entire day talking about the same topic and
No.
says it differently.
That is not okay.
All day long.
No.
Now, Ms. Peniza, you gotta work with me here. I have had 1 or 2 fellas come in here and say that their wife is persistent in their pursuit of a particular point. Is that how you are?
I will get my point across. That is true. I will get my
So
point
you're
across.
persistent in pursuit.
I would not say I'm persistent in pursuit.
He would.
Well, that sounds to me like I spend all day talking about the same topic.
That's what he said.
That is
Yes.
exactly what he said. And that is the part that's not accurate, because I do not spend the entire day talking about the same thing.
When divorce court continues, have Yolanda and Javier's children been affected by the demise of their parents' union?
He called me a female dog, okay? The bad word.
And
That's what she tells
that
me.
he did pick up, and that was wrong.
Ms. Peniza, something wrong at your house with the kids. I'm just telling you that right now. Something wrong.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter @Divorce Court. Divorce Court returns with the case of Javier Peniza, who denies his wife's accusations that he is cheating. But do they disagree on the way to raise their children as well?
Our son behaves like her.
Explain that to me.
No, Daddy. No, Daddy. You know, he's ignoring,
He got that finger up and he's waving it.
Yes, he uses the finger because Yolanda uses the finger.
Let me ask you this. We're talking about a whole lot of ancillary matters and stuff, and I know you two have children. What's up with the kids? How are they doing in the midst of all this chaos going on at your house?
My son covers his ears.
How old?
He's 3.
Mr. Peniza, are you at all concerned about what your children see and hear at your house?
Yeah, I'm very concerned, but our son behaves like her.
Explain that to me.
No, Daddy. No, Daddy. You know, he's ignoring,
He got that finger up and he's waving it.
Yes, he uses the finger because Yolanda uses the finger, okay? Then he tells me, no. Then everything that she says to him, he ignores her. Because when I'm talking to her, she's ignoring me.
Does he tell Daddy no, no, no?
Yes, he does.
Now, how does that happen?
Well, when he gets upset because he may have lost something, he misplaced something, or he's running around the house looking for something and stomping, it's like, no, Daddy, you know, using certain words. Daddy, you shouldn't speak that way.
Your
No,
Honor,
Daddy, don't say that. No, no.
He told me, look, he called me a female dog, okay? The bad word.
And
That's what she tells
he
me.
did pick up, and that was wrong.
Ms. Peniza, something wrong at your house with the kids. I'm just telling you that right now. Something wrong.
That's why I try to play. That's why I try to play in my role, okay, with not so much having authority over him, but I do try to give him instructions, okay, and try to discipline him in a manner that he's going to be prepared. My wife, she would be against how I instruct my son or how I try to raise him. She says,
Are you guys at cross purposes when you discipline him?
Yes, I use short sentences because he's only 3. He wants to talk to him like he's talking to you.
Why
And
don't
I'm
you
like, he
talk
doesn't
to each
understand
other
it.
about what's happening? You know, don't just deal with the kid. You two sit down and deal with each other. These are the behaviors he's got we don't like. This is how we're going to deal with A, B, C, and D, and stick with it. Because these people, though they are blank slates, they're real smart about it, and they can pick up weak, they can pick up division, they know how to work you like a job.
When divorce court continues, what will Javier have to say about his actions?
You'll never get any better unless you name it and claim it. And I'm a little concerned that you don't have an ability to do that.
Divorce court returns with the case of Yolanda and Javier Peniza, who have 2 children together and are seeking a divorce after Javier's drug use has chipped away at their 6-year marriage.
Ms. Peniza, why don't you tell me what the final straw was?
The final straw was in December 2011. He knew I basically was done, and he hid my driver's license, so I can't leave. And it hurt me because in January I lost an aunt,
that's not
Hang
true.
on.
in February I lost my grandmother, and I couldn't attend their funerals because I didn't have any.
Yolanda, I didn't take.
I didn't have any
I
identification.
never took your driver's license.
Mr. Peniza, what do you
He
contend
admitted to
happened?
me that he took it and he hid it, and he hid it behind the countertop. There's a crack behind the countertop, and he slid it in there, so I can't even get to it.
Did you do that?
Why don't she talk about what she did with my computer?
No,
and my shoes and
Mr.
all this
Peniza,
stuff?
you have a bad habit
No.
of answering questions
Your
about
Honor.
your behavior with
I didn't.
implications about her behavior.
No,
Tell
I-
me what you did with her license.
I didn't touch her driver's license. What I remember is where she left her driver's license at, and what I did to kind of get get all these paperwork and all these things wherever that she left it. I remember just moving it to the top of where the kitchen cabinet is at. What am I going to gain from hiding
Why
her?
do you think he hid your driver's license?
Because he didn't want me to leave. He knew I would leave the state.
Why don't you tell me, Ms. Peniza, why you are suing Mr. Peniza for $2,000?
Because he activated the debit card that came from my taxes that I filed. He activated that card in my name and did not tell me. He knew that card was supposed to be used for a car or to get a bed, because we don't have a bed. I sleep on the floor.
And he spent it on drugs.
And he spent it on drugs.
Mr. Peniza, do you have a response to that?
I didn't spend it all on drugs.
You didn't spend it all on drugs.
No.
Just some of it? What'd you do with the rest of it?
Cigarettes, some food, some
The
toiletries.
paraphernalia, all of the stuff that
No.
goes with the drugs. You just kind of you know, you were having a good time and you paid for that with the $2,000. Am I accurate?
Yeah, but you know, Your Honor, look,
You know what, Mr. Peniza, I'm going to say this. You'll never get any better unless you name it and claim it. You'll never, ever improve. You'll never recover. You'll never get better. You'll never move forward until you say, yeah, I did it. It was wrong. This is what's wrong, and this is how I'm going to deal with it in the future. And I'm a little concerned that you don't have an ability to do that. And you don't have the right not to do that because you have children. He's so cute.
He is cute.
And I think that you got blinded by the light. I think that he had a whole lot of stuff going wrong from the very beginning, but he was so cute. You said, I'm gonna work him. I'm gonna work with him. I'm gonna chip at this, and we're gonna mold that, and we're gonna tie this part up, and we're gonna get him to act right. You can't do that. Don't work out. It just doesn't work out. Having said that, I will say this. At no juncture do you have the right to misappropriate household funds to support your habit and all of those things attending that habit. Hence, Mrs. Peniza will be awarded $2,000. It is so.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
Yolanda reveals that after the show, Javier hit rock bottom and got scared. Javier says that the show opened his eyes to the reality of his addiction, and he has entered drug treatment. He knows that getting clean is a daily process, but he is willing to fight through it to save his marriage. Yolanda says as long as he remains serious about getting clean, she will be there for him. Javier now even wears his wedding ring, something he'd refused to do for a long time. They both are in counseling and parenting classes, which are helping tremendously with their communication. They are grateful to the show for saving their marriage.